Today, we got the top 10 RPG worlds of all time.
All the games from Disney's D23 Expo.
Everything you need to know about the new Zelda DLC.
And all the games you need to be playing right now.
This is the IGN Show. IGN Show. I'm Alana Pierce, and here with me, William Haynes and James Duggan.
Coming up on today's episode, we're getting our hands on every game we can in Disney's D23, and we'll tell you if the new Zelda DLC is worth a buy.
Seriously, Zelda finally has DLC.
And later, Miranda Sanchez and I will figure out which games you need to be playing, the underrated sleepers that will blow you away.
But first, it's time to talk about our favorite RPG worlds, the ones that keep us glued to our seats for so long that they have that weird butt dent.
I hate that.
When you sink hundreds of hours into a role-playing game, the settings need to be exciting and immersive. Watching your XP increase is only interesting for so long.
Right, these worlds are interesting long after you level up. Here's part 1 of our top 10 RPG worlds of all time. Many games are set in outer space, but few have really captured the essence of space travel and intergalactic civilization the way that EVE Online has. Exploring the new Eden Galaxy and its over 5,000 star systems and 2,500 wormhole systems must be done manually via spaceship. While EVE by no means prioritizes realism, it does keep many of its elements grounded in slow-paced management-heavy gameplay, especially with its complex player-driven economy. These elements, combined with the backstories of each major faction, are a perfect fit for the literal universe that has been home to some of the most exciting online space battles and dramatic player-driven epics in video game history. The Ultima series allowed us to experience several centuries of history in Sosaria and Britannia, bringing its world to life in a way few games have. For new gamers, its medieval fantasy setting might seem bland at first glance, but those who have been with the series from the start will recognize a vibrant world with a living, breathing history all its own. Confidence in its own identity and philosophy worked to ground Ultima's world, so even as its people and places grew and changed across several iterations, it always felt true to itself. The Pokemon world's lore is expansive and imaginative, and the powerful creatures that fill it live mostly in harmony with the human inhabitants. Since the original Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow, the world has continued to grow. With each iteration of Pokemon, we not only get an abundance of new creatures to catch, but new scenery, traditions, and culture to discover in new regions, and inspiring never-ending moments of wonder. Even more extraordinarily, parents feel safe allowing their 10-year-old children to embark on solo Pokemon catching adventures around the planet. It's the type of utopian world anyone would want to live in. The Witcher games are set on the continent, a high fantasy world full of warring nations and, of course, magic. What really distinguishes the world of The Witcher is its ability to meld so many diverse inspirations into a consistently frightening but beautiful world. The creatures that roam there are just as fleshed out. You'll battle nightmares drawn from Slavic folklore one quest and try to dispose of a Germanic wraith the next. Then there are the Witchers themselves, battle-hardened mutants whose powers and moral flexibility makes them the perfect heroes and villains for this dangerous world. From the sheer scale of its twisted architecture to the unfathomable mysteries of its cosmic horror, Bloodborne manages to bring a fresh and exciting edge to elements that would fall flat in the hands of most creators. But it's the dark, gothic world of Yharnam that really ties it all together. Its cities are sublime and ornate labyrinths of stone and metal that you can't help but gawk at, and its sprawling countrysides often go from eerie to otherworldly without warning. Bloodborne's combination of gothic horror and science fiction is a Lovecraftian nightmare, as we've never experienced before. And it's all thanks to the terrifying history of Yharnam.
Stick around, because we'll get to 5 through 1 a little later on in the show. Earlier this week, we took you down to Disney's D23 Expo, where we showed you Star Wars Battlefront 2, of course. But that wasn't the only game on display, so IGN's Terry Schwartz tracked down everything with a loading screen, and here's what she found.
I'm Terry Schwartz from IGN, and I caught up with Bill Roseman and Steve Arnold to talk about the very first Marvel VR game, Marvel Powers United VR. we finally have a VR Marvel game. How hard was it to determine which characters you were going to have as your first 4 lineup for this?
Well, I mean, it was tough because when you talk about Marvel Powers United VR, that means you're bringing together all those characters, all those powers, and it's all about teamwork.
We want to make sure the variety of enemies that you have are really what drive that replayability. So you want to try all the different heroes to find the right combination to team up with to actually take them down. We wanted this to be playable with as many people as possible, so you can play solo if you want to, but we really did want to encourage the multiplayer aspect of it, and you don't need to be physically in the same location. That's the beauty of VR. You feel like you're actually in the same room together.
Coming up next on the IGN Show, we're making some of your favorite creators play Tetris blindfolded. And then we're going to take a look at the new Zelda DLC to let you know whether or not it's worth a buy. But first, let's head to D23 and check out some really cool cosplay.
IGN Show. We know you have no trouble building massive structures in Minecraft. Getting a pentakill in League of Legends is no sweat off your back, and you get play of the game almost every round in Overwatch. You're a good gamer, we know this, but are you playing Tetris blindfolded good?
You're gonna be blindfolded.
Yeah, you're gonna be, it's all on you. Because you can see and I can't see. We're gonna get the world's highest score.
I like to be ambivalent, actually. We're going to get a score.
So you have a little zigzag one, and the top zigzag is, oh, you're spinning?
Spin it or like,
yeah.
Spin it or place it.
Hold it,
Okay.
hold it,
Okay.
hold it.
Okay.
It's really a long way. Okay, here we go. Go right, go right. Done. Perfect.
All right, next we have a long, so you're gonna just go straight all the way down, and then perfect.
One more space to the right. Drop it. Perfect. I love it.
Is it beautiful?
No, stop, you're still dropping.
Flip it to the flip.
You know, let it find its way.
I like it when it plays itself.
One over to the left, and down. I'm bad at this game.
That is beautiful.
What the?
That means we cleared 2 more lines.
Yes!
1,098.
We're doing
we're
so
gonna get 3.
good.
We're gonna get 3. Spin it once. And straight down. And stop. 3 lines.
Go left. Oh my God, left. You need to left. You need to push down. Okay, go down. Okay, good. No, don't left.
You said down!
No, you're doing great. No, that was too far. Go one to the left. Oh, that's terrible.
Flip. What am I doing? Push down. No, what are you doing? We lost.
This is a purple one. His name's Ted. He likes dinners that have.
This is how I play Tetris. It's the only way.
Just gently massage him to the. Oh, it's already ruined.
We're at 27-13. That's probably.
Do you think that's a high score?
It is not, but in
but
our book, that is a high score.
Stay tuned for tomorrow where we have more creators ready to take the IGN Blindfold Challenge.
It's way harder than it looks. I don't know if I could do it.
And hey, if you spent your entire spring and summer playing the new Zelda game, it might be time to pick it back up again and defeat Ganon.
The first batch of DLC for Breath of the Wild is out, and it adds a ton of new content. Here's our review.
The Master Trials offers a couple of very pleasant surprises among its grab bag of small additions to The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. The headline act, without any doubt, is the Trial of the Sword. It's a tough series of 45 one-shot rooms, most of which are combat trials, and there are only 3 checkpoints along the way. You begin with no armor, no weapons, and no divine beast powers, so you have to scavenge what you can. The challenge comes not so much from swordplay, but from applying all of your knowledge of how Breath of the Wild systems work. One set of rooms takes place entirely in a thunderstorm, another in a vertical wind tunnel of sorts. Even cooking takes on a new meaning when you have to be as efficient as possible with precious few resources. Hitting each checkpoint in the trial may offer a permanent 10-point damage buff to your Master Sword, but, like Eventide Island, the adrenaline rush of completing it really is its own reward. The Master Trial's other editions aren't quite as exciting, but they're certainly welcome. Hero's Path, for example, is a hugely useful navigational tool that takes the last 200 hours of your time in Hyrule and presents it as a scrolled track drawn across the map. There's something nice and nostalgic about seeing your journey fully mapped out. The Travel Medallion is another helpful feature that allows you to drop your own fast travel point anywhere in the world. On the other hand, you will be sent on a set of dull treasure hunts to unlock new clothing items. They're all cute references to past games, but only a few do anything useful. Finally, Master Mode is a hard mode that does more than just make enemies stronger. There's an impossibly tough Silver Lionel in the tutorial area, which gives you an idea of how much challenge this mode will be. That's emblematic of the Master Trials DLC as a whole. It doesn't make any huge changes to the established Breath of the Wild formula, but with fun new quests, some welcome new features, and a hard mode to be reckoned with, it paves the way for the story expansion to come. For more on Zelda, check out the IGN app. I am so sold on the Legend of Zelda franchise finally having DLC. One thing about this that really appeals to me is getting to fight a Lionel on the Great Plateau right from the get-go. It's one of my favorite things to do in the game, and doing it at the very beginning is going to be very hard, but I like a challenge.
Absolutely, Master Mode looks awesome, but the thing that really has me into this is the whole trial of the sword, the idea of starting with nothing, getting a bunch of stuff, and kind of putting everything that you've learned to the test in these kind of micro combat puzzles.
Well,
super awesome.
Eventide Island was also one of my favorite things in Breath of the Wild. This DLC kind of seems like a collection of things people really loved all pieced together.
Sure, and you can hone your skills for the next narrative DLC. So.
Yeah, very exciting stuff. Coming up next, the games you need to play and the RPG worlds that are just awesome.
But first, if you could be any video game character, which would you be? While you debate your answer, here's what people at RTX in Austin thought.
If you could be any game character, who would you be?
Link.
Why?
Because he's just so cool, dude.
You've got the same hair color, kind of.
Oh, good.
You need
Thanks.
like a sleeping cap?
No, thank you. I would be Abe from Abe's Odyssey. Because I could possess people.
I would be Waluigi.
Nice, good choice.
Because I love going, wah, wah.
If I could choose to be one video game character, it would actually be Spider-Man in the all-new Spider-Man game.
That's not fair. That's a comic book character.
Yeah, but I want to be Spider-Man.
Who are you going to be? Nathan Drake. Married to Elena. I'm off on crazy adventures. The whole epilogue thing from Uncharted 4 that I won't spoil, but seems nice.
Those hashtag goals.
Hashtag goals,
Yeah.
right? Yeah,
Okay,
come
okay.
on. A nice little life. Why not?
Welcome back to the IGN Show. You've heard of Overwatch, you've heard of Minecraft, and you've heard of Breath of the Wild, and there's a reason for that. Those games are fantastic.
But there's games coming out every day, and luckily for you, it is our job to play them all.
Every single one.
Most of them. Anyway, we want to help you find some of the coolest new games that are coming out.
Such as Gwent. I've been playing a lot of Gwent.
Ooh, from The Witcher.
From The Witcher. It's dissimilar to The Witcher's version and Hearthstone, as well as Magic the Gathering. In the sense that it's gotten a lot more iterations since it was in The Witcher. And for those of you who are familiar with Hearthstone, there are no mana costs associated. You draw your whole hand straight away. But that leads to a lot of really cool strategic decisions and also just presentation, how the cards look. Gwent does this cool thing where they kind of take the idea of a holographic card and they actually animate it with a three-dimensional model that shifts and moves. And I could play this game just for the animated cards. But what have you been playing?
So I've been playing for possibly the 5th time, Undertale. So this game has actually come out in 2015, and do not let the graphics dissuade you from this amazing RPG. And we found out at E3 this year that it is coming to the PS Vita and, one of my favorite, the PlayStation 4. So I'm very excited to have it again.
So I want to talk about some straight-up action and leave all that drama stuff for somebody who has more empathy than I do.
Maybe some
Let's
heart.
talk about Rising Storm 2 Vietnam. It's a shooter in the style of Battlefront. It's actually part of the Rising Storm series, but it's a little bit dissimilar from Battlefield in the sense that it's more realistic and has this really cool asymmetrical combat. So depending upon whether you're playing the US forces or the NBA, you get these cool kind of bonuses. Like the US gets the iconic helicopter, the NBA on the other hand, it's a little bit more stealthy. It's very team-focused, very realistic, gritty. I love it.
That's nice because it gives you just a little bit more strategy going in and kind of a different experience every time.
Absolutely, and that's what we've been playing, but we want to know, what have you been playing?
Tweet to us at IGN with the hashtag games you should be playing, and maybe you might just find the next big thing.
When the IGN Show returns, we're going to finish counting down our top 10 RPG worlds of all time.
Think you can guess what number one's gonna be?
But first, we went to RTX and asked people what games they're looking most forward to playing. Check it out.
The game I'm looking forward to the most this year, Star Wars Battlefront 2. I'm actually looking forward to it. I liked Battlefront. I think Battlefront 2 will be even better.
The game that I'm most excited for coming out this year would probably be Super Mario Odyssey, but shortly thereafter into 2018, Dragon Ball FighterZ is coming out, and that game looks epic.
Destiny 2. I had a lot of fun with Destiny 1. Destiny 1 gave me some of the best experiences I had in gaming, with doing the raids and hanging out with 5 other people.
I'm looking forward to Mario Odyssey. Pretty much anything by Nintendo. I'm a Nintendo guy. I love Nintendo. I love anything that is related to Mario, so throw me some Mario Odyssey.
It's a really good answer for a really predictable person.
Thank you.
Welcome back to the IGN Show. Earlier, we started our countdown of the top 10 RPG worlds of all time, and now it's time for the grand finale. 10 through 6 were good, but they're dumpster fires compared to these realms. These are the best of the best, the top 5.
Ivelisse is one of the deepest and richest worlds that Square Enix has ever created, spanning across Final Fantasy Tactics, Vagrant Story, and Final Fantasy XII. Ivelisse marries the aesthetic of medieval Europe and the Mediterranean with the iconic magic and creatures of the Final Fantasy series. It's a world rife with complex characters, political intrigue, and a mythology filled with the giant summons that we've loved for decades. Ivelisse is one of the darker and more mature worlds in the Final Fantasy series, and shares more in common with Westeros than it does with Midgar. Video games had never really seen a world like Sigil before Planescape Torment, and in the years following its launch in 1999, we haven't really seen another one since. Originally the setting of a Dungeons & Dragons campaign, Sigil is contained within the inner walls of a hollow three-dimensional ring, which hovers above an unimaginably tall spire. Also called the City of Doors, the surreal city is home to an endless series of portals leading to other planes of existence. The dreamlike qualities woven into the fabric of its several districts made it the perfect setting to experience Planescape's strange, philosophical adventure. The continent of Tamriel is home to Cyrodiil, Morrowind, Skyrim, and the surrounding lands that have made our adventures in the Elder Scrolls series full of magic and wonder. Even if you're someone who doesn't play the Elder Scrolls for the story, there's no denying the rich mythology and history behind its world. Tales of ancient gods, mysterious dungeons, and age-old factions color every moment of our time exploring its diverse landscapes, from the rocky deserts of Hammerfell to the frost-bitten peaks of Skyrim. Tamriel might be rooted in a long tradition of high fantasy, but it's one of the best high fantasy worlds video games have to offer. The comforting ambiance of a crackling fireplace is accented by distant laughter and a melodic lute. Outside, a gentle breeze blows across the crisp green foliage of Elwyn Forest as 2 aimless max-level players hone their skills in a friendly duel. To the north, the hustle and bustle of Stormwind City. To the south, the dark, ominous danger of Duskwood. This is the experience inside the Lion's Pride Inn, a single building in a single zone on one of the 2 continents that made up World of Warcraft's original Azeroth, a remarkably unified game world populated with thousands of players per server, each with their own destination. At this time, there was no way to circumvent exploration and interaction with this rich, massive environment and the emergent experiences it offered. A more engrossing and immersive multiplayer world has yet to be created. Lordran is at once a world of great beauty and terrible decay, and it's From Software's effortless juxtaposition of the two that makes exploring its interwoven landscapes such an awe-inspiring experience. From the sun-kissed peaks of Anor Londo to the darkest depths of the catacombs, Lordran manages to make each layer of its kingdom feel like a meaningful part of a larger whole. What feels like a vast and impenetrable world at the start of our journey becomes a second home by the end. Familiar, but still fascinating. Cohesive, but still mysterious. That's because nothing in Lordran exists by accident. Everything, from the location of specific spells to the illusory walls that hide exciting secrets, has some purpose in the telling of Lordran's complex history, which makes wandering its dark and atmospheric realms a reflective journey like no other.
Look, all
amazing worlds to game in, but some of them are not so fun to live in. I think Bloodborne would smell bad, Dark Souls you would just die. So if I were to pick anything on that list to actually exist in, it would have to be Pokemon.
Oh my gosh, and if I could have a Pokemon as a pet, it'd probably be Jigglypuff. I bet he's really soft and you could just like lay him.
You could get to sleep easily.
Yeah.
Cute.
He could be part of my stuffed animal collection. Favorite RPG worlds for me, definitely Dragon Age in there and Skyrim, which was on the list. They didn't mention Fable though. That was sad.
Definitely missing.
Yeah.
Take it in a little bit of a different direction. I mean,
Okay.
it's still kind of an RPG, but an MMO, if you couldn't tell, the Azeroth portion was definitely my contribution to that list because of how moody and cinematic and nerdy it was. When I first played World of Warcraft in 2004, it made me want to be a PC gamer. And Azeroth in the vanilla state of World of Warcraft was just this amazing world. Everybody had their own unique destination. It felt so organic.
Good choice. All right, you definitely do not want to miss the next episode of the IGN Show. In fact, you do not want to miss the one after that either.
That's because we'll be at Comic-Con. We'll have 2 episodes straight from the show floor in San Diego.
We're checking out all the games, finding the best cosplayers, and we're gonna stuff whatever collectibles we can into our suitcases.
All right, that does it for this episode of the IGN Show.
Thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.
And remember, keep it locked to IGN. Bye, guys.
See ya.